That's right, the title is no lie, ladies and gentlemen. Ugnaught is a sleeper. And for the first time in his whole life, I think, in Galaxy of Heroes, he's actually kind of useful. Not in the way you think. No, he's not going to be destroying metas, at least not yet, that is. But, Ugnaught, you guys have been freaking out about it. And I've been making some videos the past week or so, and you guys have been saying, why do you have Ugnaught bookmark? What aren't you telling me, Arnold? Well, here's what I'm not telling you lately, because Relics. It's a topic that's not the most exciting topic. People don't really seem to appreciate Relics that much. There's people that love it, people that hate it. I'm here just to make videos. I'm just a messenger right here, and I'm trying to help you people to try to get as many relics as possible in a free-to-play fashion, because in this current in-game economy, my goodness, at first glance, these scavenge pieces, they look so daunting. I mean, look, Mark IV, the hollow projectors, that's pretty steep. Then of course you got gold full pieces in here. It's a very scary look. Then you have Carbantes and stun guns, and let's not even get to beyond it. Look at all these gear 12 plus pieces that might be needed for these later pieces. What I'm going to try to tell you guys today is, one, I'm going to show why Ugnaught's kind of important to quickly help yourself get to tier level 5, because I think from looking at the game right now, tier level 5 is going to be pretty free to play accessible. Yeah, you'll have to make a little bit of a sacrifice in terms of some gear, but nothing super important like Carbantes or stun guns or gold pieces. And I also have a very fantastic guide for you guys to bookmark. I seriously hope you guys bookmark this, so when you're doing your scavenging, you don't scavenge the wrong pieces, because you don't want to go throw away stun cuffs and Carbantes and whatnot. And the main piece I want to talk about today, and the reason why you want Ugnaught at level 5, is simply because he gives you access to this Mark 7 ball armor mod. And fortunately enough, this piece has super high value, and I've already burnt through a lot, which it looks like I don't have as much anymore, but I had thousands of pieces of this stuff right here, and this is going to be extremely important for composing chromium transistors. And what I'm going to basically show today is just kind of give you an overview on what you should be shooting for in each and every one of these tiers, and then I'll go ahead and walk you through this lovely little resource that was created by an individual out there in the SWGoH world, people. So the carbonite circuit board, really, if you've been playing the game for a year or two, you're going to get a lot of this stuff accumulated. Nothing too crazy where you're going to be, you'll lose sleep. And, you know, I can toss me a lot of these and not feel too bad about it. This is going to be the easiest tier. The first two tiers aren't supposed to be breaking your back. That's the whole point of it. Everyone should be able to get through these first two pretty easily. Tier 2, the ante gets upped up a little bit, and really the best value piece that you're going to want to be utilizing the most is going to be this right here, this Mark V Fabritech data pad. You get the max amount of value in this particular tier. And would you rather give away one of these green pieces right here, is Mark V Fabritech, or would you rather give away a full piece of the Mark IV CNR hollow projectors, which basically it has stun guns included in it, if I recall the recipe correctly, or stun cuffs? Yeah, look at this. This piece right here, besides having the salvage for the Mark IV hollow projectors, you also see they have stun cuffs. And the currency exchange you're getting is only gonna be 20 points. Why would you do that when instead you can go for this? So for the Bronzium wiring, I highly recommend you go ahead and use this as your scraps. And as you see, we have a Princess Leia right here we can go to. It's a gear piece that's fairly easy to accumulate, and you only need to burn a couple, because you don't need to exhaust your whole inventory right now. But as long as you burn some of them right now, let's say we can go ahead and probably burn like 100 right here. It gives me 44 pieces, and that adds on top of the current Bronzium wiring I have. And plus, of course, people have a lot of other stuff that they can burn, but honestly, this is kind of universally the best piece you could be using to get your Bronzium wiring. So that's kind of the first tip. So now we're kind of past the first two steps of the relic, and now this is where things get a little trickier, is once we get to the chromium transistor stage. Now the chromium transistor stage, at first glance, it's pretty daunting. You got these gold pieces right here. You got Chirotech here. Yuck. And I'm not giving up my Chirotech. I don't know about you guys. I need my Chirotech more than anything else right now. More Chirotech gold pieces. Yuck, 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 yuck. But look right here. 300 points, which is the maximum you get for this particular tier for the chromium transistors. And look who has it. Ugnaught. Of course, you can find other characters that have it, like I'm a Gundai or whatever. But right here, what I highly recommend doing, I've been recommending this to my patrons and other people who ask me questions about Relic, in the morning, when you're waking up, doing your thing, I try to go ahead and burn a couple of these crafted pieces right here. We'll go ahead and craft a bunch of them, and I'll go ahead, I don't know, I'll craft like 50 a day, because the recipe is not that bad. You get a lot of these pieces already right here, and it looks like I have a short stash right now, but I had a lot of these before I started farming on Ugnaught, and same thing with these. You have a lot of Mark II Fabritech data pads, and you would much rather craft these pieces than give up your Chirotech, especially if you're going to get the same amount of value out of it in the end. So let me go ahead and pull out 50 of these. All right, so we got 50 of these right here. Let's go back to the store, and what I'm going to show you again, keep in mind, look at the other pieces here. I can give away a full piece of Chirotech, one of the hardest pieces to farm right now, and get 300 pieces, or I can easily go ahead and just give up these blue pieces, which has equal value in them. And the reason why I'm telling you guys this now, because I don't know if they're going to nerf this exchange rate, because the exchange rate value is drastically different between Chirotech and the gold pieces compared to this blue stuff right here. And look, I have over 2,500 chromium transistors, and I've solely only used this Mark 7 piece right here, and I'm kind of set. Having, how many pieces do I have in total? Having 2,800 chromium transistors, that's going to keep me solid for quite a long time when I have to do my relics. This is why I'm telling you guys, because I don't know if they're going to adjust the currency to make it a bit more balanced, I suppose, because the blue piece is definitely overpriced, but it works to our advantage, right, people? And chromium transistors are so important because you're going to need them basically at Relic 3, 4, 5, 6, and all that fun stuff. And that is why Ugnaught is so important. Find a character that has this piece, because those chromium transistors, that's when things start becoming steep. But if you look for those core pieces that aren't too expensive to compose, you can easily kind of wiggle your way past the system. That's why Ugnaught actually makes relics pretty free to play and helps you get past a bunch of those first few relic tiers. Now there's another trick as well, because now we're at to move up another step, and that's when we get to these honeycomb looking things, the aurodium heat sinks. And this, again, it looks so daunting. You have Chirotech on here, you have stun guns, my gosh, golden eyeballs, carbantes, oh my. Look what we have right here. Look at the maximum value you can get out of an aurodium heatsink scrap piece is 500 points. The goal is, when you're looking at this, what is really the least important piece out of all these that gets me the most value? And right here, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be the Mark III hollow projectors. Now, unfortunately, yes, I do have to admit, these are still fairly important pieces, especially when you're moving up from, like, you know, getting up to like gear 11, for example. These pieces are still going to be important, but when you're trying to relic up a character and you're examining the rest of these, you have to admit, those pieces aren't nearly as valuable as Carbantes or Stun Cuffs or Chirotech. And another thing is, do not just use the individual salvage pieces. Do not do this. These are individual salvage pieces right here, and you do not get nearly as much. I don't understand why the math works out this way, but watch this. For example, it takes how many pieces to compose a full Mark III Holonar projector, whatever? It takes 20 pieces, right? So let's go ahead and put 20 in there. Well, I basically gave them a full Mark III piece right here, and I'm only getting 4 pieces in return. I'm only getting plus 200 points. But if I give them a fully crafted piece, which already has 20 pieces crafted together to create one full piece right here, if I just give them one piece right here, I'm getting plus 500 points for that one piece right there. So moral of the story, when you're doing this tier right here, which is going to be the most important one in my opinion, because it gets you over to Relic 5, and that's going to be where the average sits, I think, when we look at the long-term game right now, you want to use your Mark III hollow projector. So what I highly recommend you do is you find a character in your roster. You're bound to have a bunch of them. I have a lot of characters that need them. I have no plans of gearing up Zeb or Savage or Kira anytime soon, so it doesn't really bother me too much. So what I highly recommend you do is you go and you craft full piece of this. Do not give individual salvage pieces. So we're going to go ahead and craft another piece right here. And now I have 2 full pieces I can give away. And that right there gives me enough to relic a character from Relic 4 to Relic 5. And keep in mind, if I gave them 40 individual pieces of this Mark III purple piece right here, I would not get nearly as much return on investment. It might sound a little wonky at first, but it's just for some reason, the currency exchange is a bit weird. And I don't know if it's intentional or if it's just bad mathematics, or it's trying to push people in this in-game economy to kind of go towards more certain gear pieces. That might be what they're trying to do. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and compose this. And right there, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be really your most efficient and free-to-play way to scale up these relics as much as possible and the least amount of gear burden you're putting on yourself, because you have to give away 50 pieces of Chirotech or a whole piece of Chirotech to get 500. I would much rather use 40 of those lesser needed purple pieces I just showed you a second ago. And when it gets to the last tiers, 6 and 7 are going to be the most difficult tiers to acquire. And I don't think, with the way the in-game economy is and the gear inflow we're having right now, I don't see this being too realistic right now until people start getting a lot of gear 13s, which I'm not there. A lot of you guys aren't there just yet. But maybe down the road, they're going to up the gear a little bit and open up the faucet so we get more of these pieces of gear. But the point I'm trying to tell you guys today is that there is a free-to-play, least damaging path, I suppose, to get to the tier Relic 5, and that is a very good Relic tier to be sitting on. Relic 5 is the goal to be shooting for, ladies and gentlemen, and that is kind of why I want to make this video today, mainly just to kind of show you guys, be careful with your gear. Make sure you're farming the right types of gear, because this is what I've been doing to getting my characters to Relic 5. Right now, my goal is to try to get the characters to Relic 5 that are kind of important right now, 501st and whatnot. And I'm not going beyond it because it's just too steep at that point for me to really enjoy. Now, there's a second resource I want to show you guys in case you want something a bit more in-depth. I gave you the best value pieces overall right now, but in case, let's say, you don't have the Mark III holo projectors and you want to know what's the next best thing, well, check out this guide right here. I have to give a major, huge shout out to this person right here, Alicia. I don't know, I probably butchered your name big time, but they took the time to do a comprehensive list, not just the best value pieces like I showed you today. They go in depth on all the pieces you should and shouldn't break down to the scrapper, because again, you're going to need to do relics eventually. It's an important piece of the game. It's the most end game thing you can have right now, and it just changed the power drastically for characters. And in this guide I'm going to show you in a second, they created various tabs showing all the gear pieces, and they kind of give you some symbols. They tell you if it's safe to break down or scrap, they tell you to avoid, or they give you a little cautionary sign telling you that you might want to consider not scrapping these, and they give you a reason why. So let's go show you this guide real quick. I'm leaving a link down below. This is a fantastic little resource to have for Relic, so you know what the best things are. But for example, Relic 1, nothing too crazy right here, but you can see which pieces you should be giving away. Like, so the Mark 1 stun guns, really not all that valuable. You have probably lots of them, so you can go ahead and scrap it, and plus you get the max amount of value for this particular salvage piece. And then same thing of Bronzium wiring. We talked about this today. The best value piece is going to be that Mark V Fabritech data pad. I showed you that's the best value. You probably have a lot of them stored up, and secondly, they're not as needed compared to other things like Mark V fusion furnaces. Look at that, 20 you only get 20 value out of it, where for the same green piece you get 20 value out of it. So this is a fantastic little guide to kind of give you quick access to what's worth trading and what's worth saving. Same thing of chromium transistors. I told you this Mark 7 ball armor mod, best value you can find. You get the max amount of value, and it's not nearly as bad as trading away these Mark 10 holo lenses or some of these other things like the Chirotech. Same thing, we talked about this already. Mark III holo projectors are going to be your best bang for your buck for the aurodium heat sinks, aka the honeycombs, and you want to compose a full piece. Do not do salvages, as they say right here. You want to craft a full piece to get the best value. But in case you don't have that, you have some other options you can choose from. But as you see, there's a lot of rare pieces in here, which is why that Mark III holo projector is honestly the clear choice winner here. So again, link down below in the video description if you want this. I think this is a fantastic Relic resource to have, and hopefully these little tips I gave you tries to make Relics a little bit more manageable. Trust me, I know Relics aren't the most free-to-play friendly thing in the game right now, and it's tough to get to tier 7 for sure unless you spend the money, or you just happen to have a lot of gear stored up because you had gear 13 characters for a long time now. So that's the goal for today's video. Like, comment down below your thoughts, be sure to subscribe so you're not missing a thing, and I'll talk to all the other people in the next video. Peace out, everyone.
Party Richter, party Richter. Down. Party Richter, son of a bitch. Party Richter, down.